Alright, welcome guys to day one of Matplotlib. Today we're going to be covering Matplotlib basics and Pyplot interface. So if you look over here, you will see that we're currently using the Jupyter notebook inside of VS Code. All you need to do to get started with this extension is coming over to the extensions part and then you search for Jupyter, which is Jupyter. And you also have to make sure that you save your file with the .ipynb so that it gets to be like this. And you also have to make sure that your Python interpreter is being set. So this is the current version for this video, Python 3.14.0. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to install our library. All right, we get to start with the percentage pip install matplot. All right, lib. All right, so the idea is that this particular percentage with command pip is going to install this matplotlib into your interpreter. All right, so we get to run the cell either by pressing this particular cell or we get to do a control enter. For this video I'll be using control enter, which is the keyboard shortcut. All right, so as you can see, requirements already satisfied because I've installed this before. So I can come over here and clear the cell outputs. So what we need to do next is to try to import the library. So in importing the library, all we need to do is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Alright, so this plt is more like a short form of this matplotlib.pyplot. We do not want to try to use matplotlib.pyplot all the time for every function that we try to create, so we can easily pass in the plt all the time. So let's just try to execute the cell so that we get our code up and running. If you want, you can continue in this same cell, but most times I prefer to go to the next cell. All right, let's get our demo up and running. So we're just going to do something simple so we get to understand the concept very well. Let's say we have days as first day, the second day, and the third day, and then we have another list. All right, which is going to be, let's say, something like money saved. Let's say the money is saved within these days. So we have 2,000, 4,000, and 6,000. Let's try to. So I'm letting you know that this is in dollars. All right. So we're trying to make a simple plot by using the PLT that we've been able to create above here. So we do PLT dot plot. So this is the syntax for you to be able to make a simple plot. All right. So let's say we have something like the x-axis, and then we also have the y-axis. All right. So this could just be the signature whereby x-axis comes first and then the y-axis comes next. So from our data, we want days to be the x-axis and money saved to be the y-axis. So we can do that. So if you look closely, so we can try to run the cell. All right. So once you run the cell, automatically it gets to draw a straight line upward. All right. So you can see that this is the x-axis from 1 to like 3, and this is the y-axis from 2,000 to 6,000. So you get to visualize this. So you have to try to understand that Matplotlib can be used to identify trends. So you can see that it is trending upwards. All right. Therefore, the higher the number of days, the higher the amount of money being saved from what we're able to read here. You can use Matplotlib to identify patterns. So you can see that the first day we saved 2,000, second day we saved 4,000, third day we saved 6,000. So you can see how it trends upward. All right, let's say we try to change our data, whereby we have something like 6,000, 4,000, and 2,000. Let's try to run this and see what happens. All right, so you see that it gets to trend downwards. All right, so you can see that the higher the number of days, lower the amount you get to save. So this is just a simple plot. All right, so let's get to our next demo. All right, before we get to our next demo, I would like to make sure that you get to understand something, that this plot function is for you to be able to draw a line. This PLT is what we've been able to, create over here, which is, you can take it as a pencil. All right, you can think of it as a pencil. So in the cheat sheet concepts, I'll be showing you, the vocabularies of all these particular syntax. So if you look over here, you will see that this doesn't look neat. All right, so it's telling us the type of data that we have. So we do not want to be seeing this. So what we need to do is make sure that we do something like plt.show to keep everything clean. So you see that it gets to like show the image. So in our next demo, let's say we want to be able to get something like this. Let's try to change the data. So we have the hours, and then we have phone charge. All right. So let's say we have something like 0, 10, 40, 90. So we have two lists. All right. We have hours and phone charge. So we want to be able to know, what happens in the next coming hours. So let's make a simple plot, plt dot plot. So we want hours to be our x-axis and phone charge to be our y-axis. So we can run cell. All right, I got an error. X and y must have same first dimension, but have shapes 5 and 4. All right, so we have different shapes. So let's check what the problem is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have only 0, 10, 40, and 90. All right, let's just remove 5 and make these maybe like 0. So we have something like 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, so it's good that we get errors in this video, so you get to understand that I'm also human and I make mistakes. So what really happened was that we have two different shapes which are in the same size. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're now the same size. All right. Let's try to run the cell again. Then you can see that this is a curved line. So we have our x-axis and then we have our y-axis. All right. So you can see that the pattern between these and this is quite different. You see that the previous one we had was a straight line. All right, it was going up straight line that we just had, but this particular one is curved. All right. In 0 hours, the phone is still at 0%. So we need to make sure that you get to understand this very well. All right. Percentage. So in 0 hours, 0 hour, your phone is still at 0%. In 1 hour, your phone is at 10%. 2 hours, the phone is at 40%. All right. 3 hours, 90. So, trying to figure out how these just like that feels too long when we can easily just visualize it. So you can see that around this side will be the hours as the time. Around this side will be, your percentage. So you can see that in 0 hour, you still have 0 percentage. In 1 hour, if you look at it, this particular place where the line, as if there's a joining over here, all right, where as if there's a cut over here, all right, as if there's an annotation over here, all right, you can imagine it. So you can see that it's going to the middle, all right. So we have 0, and here the middle could be 10, and then we have 20, then 30, then 40. So you can think of it like that. So the idea is that in 1 hour, your battery gets to charge to like 10%. So you can see over here in 1 hour, 10. In 2 hours, 40. Let's look at that. So in 2 hours, all right, over here, you can see it's around 40. So all right, so this is just to a little bit strenuous, all right. And we could easily do so many other things in Matplotlib, like maybe trying to label the x-axis, label the y-axis, and maybe annotate one of these. So we're still going to get into that into the video. So let's just try to do a simple challenge. So this particular solo challenge is for you. So I will challenge you to actually try to, make a simple plot without trying to, look at any of the syntax that we've been tackling in this video. So it's very, very good, for recall. All right. So let's try this. Let's say we have days. I'll give you the data. All right. And then you try to make a simple plot with that. So we have something like this. And then we have steps. Let's say we have 3,000, 4,500, 5,000, 6,500, 8,000. All right, we need to make sure they are the same shape. So avoid that error again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we have the number of days and the amount of steps to take within the days. All right. So I challenge you right now, so you can pause the video and try to make a simple plot. And also don't forget to, all right, let's go back to over this place. We forgot to try to, show the image. This is very important, make everything clean. So going back to your challenge, make sure you just make a simple plot and then you try to show the image. All right, do that without looking. All right, if you did that without looking, that's good. So let's say we have plt dot plot. All right, so pass in the days and steps. So once we do that, now you can see that we've been able to make a simple plot. All right, we also need to make sure that we, show the image. All right, so all right, sometimes I try to do something like this, let's say we have show the image, then maybe we have something like draw the plot. Let's just say draw a line. All right, just to make it neat. All right, so we can see that the first day we had 3,000 steps. So this is the x-axis, the y-axis. So the first day we made 3,000 steps. Second day, within this range, let's say like 4, 5. 4,500 steps. Let's say the third day, 5,000 steps. Let's check the last one, which is the fifth day. We made a total of 8,000 steps. So you see that we get to visualize our data in a way that helps us identify, patterns or trends. So this is what we use Matplotlib, library for. All right, I'll give you a cheat sheet concept to understand the video very well. At the same time, use it to be able to do your homework. This is your cheat sheet concept. So you can think of Matplotlib like drawing on a paper. You can take the figure as the paper, take the axis, which we're still going to be covering in the next videos, as the drawing area on the paper, take the Pyplot or the PLT as the pencil, take the plot function as draw a line, the show as show the drawing. So that's a cheat sheet concept. And after that, this is your homework. So we're not going to be covering this in the video because this is for you. So I challenge you to be able to plot any two lists so you can come up with any example that you can think of. And you have to make sure that you run it without error. And you also have to make sure that show the lines. All right, that's all we'll be covering for day one.